Hello and welcome back to the Sandbox tutorial. In today's episode, we are going to talk all about the transform tool. This little tool is going to be one of your best friends. As you notice, we talked about earlier, I like to put it in my hotbar because I use it a lot. So you have three different options here. You have move, which does what it says. It moves objects around. You have resize, which again does what it says, makes things bigger or smaller. And then we have fishing rod, which is really about ignoring gravity to move things very precisely across the world. Basically using a fishing rod to kind of move things around without needing to rely on gravity to place things down on the ground. Very cool tool. All three of these are extremely valuable. So let's talk about the move tool. I am going to build just a very basic bottom piece here. And just for the sake of making this easier to see, we're going to go and just put black paint down. And to get rid of that grass, I am going to mow the grass here. There we go. Okay, nice black box here. And now we can go ahead and put down a piece here. I'm going to use one of these columns. All right. So we have a column. Now immediately when you come in here with these tools now, you get this option to resize right away. And as you can see, this column can go up and it can go down to a certain point. It can't go past that point, but you can make it nice and big and tall. The other option you can do is to use the resize under transform. And I want to make sure ignore collisions is always on. It's very rare would I ever have ignore collisions off. I don't think I've ever had a reason to have it off. But you have options now with the arrow to go up and down. There we go. And then you have a kind of a rotate option, which will rotate it 90 degrees. Nice quick option for rotating things 90 degrees. The second option, move, you have grid snapping and ignore collisions. Again, 99.9% of the time I have ignore collisions on. Very rare that you don't want to have that on. And then grid snapping, you can turn it off and on. If you have it on and you go to move something, so I click on it with the move tool, you'll now have arrows that go up. So the Z axis and then Y and X axis. And then you have rotate tools that rotate it over the Y-axis, the Z-axis, and the X-axis. So you can move things around. You can move it up into the air. So now we got it floating. And then we can take this and we can rotate it. If you're trying to look for nice straight lines, I always recommend to have snap grid on. But if you needed something that was a little bit more precise, you could turn grid snapping off, and now it moves a little bit more fluidly, and then you can move it down into position. There we go. Almost like a big huge structural beam that we're building here. Make it nice and big, but you get the idea. The last tool here is the fishing rod. And this tool will allow you to take an object and basically now you can see I've got a hold of it like I've got a fishing rod. I don't have to use the left arrows and right arrows or rotate or anything like that. I've got this option here to move it around. You can hold down control and rotate it like this. So you're just using your mouse. You can change the distance from you. So if you use the mouse up, it'll go farther away, or mouse down to you. You can drop it without gravity. Or you can use the R button to freeze it. So once you get it into the position you want, Just hit R and freeze it in there. Fishing tool, very cool tool. I have problems with depth perception, so if you do too, it may not be the tool for you, and instead you may want to mostly use just the move tool, which is what I tend to use. Alright, so with that, I think that's it on the move tool. So thank you for joining, and I hope to see you all next time.